If you're finding it overwhelming to keep up with your adulting responsibilities, here's how you can make it work. Now, I learned plenty of life skills growing up, so when it came to adulting, I was actually prepared, but not everyone is so lucky. However, things changed when I got sick. All those things I had to do as an adult got harder and harder as my time decreased by 80%. So I not only had to keep up with my adulting responsibilities, I had to learn how to adult more efficiently. Here's how you can do it. So, first, pick regular times and days for your jobs and stick with it. Schedule it in and just make sure it gets done. The discipline you use to make that happen gives you the freedom to be able to do more of the things that you want to do. If you can spend that time adulting scheduled into a very small pocket and stick to that, the rest of your time ends up being free and you have more flexibility in your life. That also means you don't have to stress about when you're going to fit something in or if you're going to be able to do it. You prioritize that, get it done, and move on with your life so you can go and enjoy the things you want to do. Procrastination doesn't work. It just leaves you stuck and scrambling for time. So if you can just schedule it, get it done, then you can move on, go and have fun, and that makes life so much easier. Next, if you can batch multiple jobs together, you're going to find it so much easier. So it could be cooking, cleaning, any of your general household jobs. You could potentially get them all done in the one go. So for me, I will quite often do a load of washing, and I will be maybe cooking something at the same time and just sort of jumping between those 2 or 3 things to be able to get them all done, and then I can move on. So it's not uncommon for me to do a lot of cooking in bulk. So with my meal prep, it just makes life easier. And so yesterday, for example, I had already defrosted my meat, so it was ready to go. I got up early, threw it into the slow cooker and got that started. Basically, that's set and forget now. So come afternoon time, and that's when I am adding any extra ingredients to the slow cooked meat. So generally I will do a slow cooked beef. So I just threw some garlic and onion in there because I'm not going too heavy on spices at the moment. But that finished it off. While that was going on, I went and bulk cooked a whole batch of rice so that I had that sitting there ready to go as well. By the time the rice was done, the meat was ready to come out as well. I was able to just batch everything up into individual portions, put it all in the freezer. And now I've got meals for at least the next week, if not longer. Now I did 2 lots of slow cooking in 2 consecutive days even. So that was a total of 9 kilos of meat that I've managed to cook and 5 kilos of rice. 5 cups of uncooked rice, making about 15 portions or so. Now by doing that, I've managed to save so much time because I was able to go and put the meal in to start with and then go and get on with my work day, get the stuff done that I wanted to get done. I check on it at lunchtime. I'm lucky enough to work from home, but even if you don't work from home, it's still a set and forget. You can come back later and just deal with that in the evening time if you need to. Then come late afternoon, evening, that's when I was already done with any of my work jobs. I went and finished off any of the other jobs that I had to do around the house in the late afternoon, and I got the food sorted out, finalised, packed away into the freezer. Everything's done. It's just one thing after another, set up in a very simple fashion so that I can actually get it done and make it happen. So, my meals are set for the week, and that's because I was able to set things up. I've got a process in place to be able to batch these things all together. Makes life so much easier. Next, I really recommend you choose where you live carefully. If you're somebody that hates gardening and you move into a house which has a huge amount of garden, that's time that you need to spend to maintain the gardens, cut the lawn, any of that sort of stuff. Now that could be an hour or 2 a week. It could be more than that, depending on the size of the place. What if you were to be someone that doesn't like gardening? I'm one of those people. I went and moved into somewhere that didn't have a garden. If I wanted to have any plants, flowers, or what have you, they sat in pots out the front of my house, but I didn't have any specific major gardening work to do. So I didn't have to worry about watering anything. There was no lawn, so I didn't have to do any of the lawn mowing. It just makes life so much easier. Another thing that was an advantage to where I lived was I'm somebody that loves going to the beach. I absolutely love it. So I was 5 minutes drive from the beach. That saves me time as well, because if I'm 30 minutes from the beach, that's an extra 50 minutes of my day in travel if I want to go to the beach. It also minimizes my opportunities to go to the beach because of the time that I have available. So if you can be very picky on where you want to live so that it suits your lifestyle, that's going to make your life far easier and far more enjoyable, so you can actually do more of the things you want to do and less of the things that you don't want to do. Because that's the hard thing with adulting. A lot of the adulting responsibilities are jobs that you have to do. Not jobs that you want to do, but jobs that you absolutely have to do. Finally, choose your extra responsibilities carefully. Pets, partners, family and friends, all of these things take up time, and that can be precious time. Responsibilities, like, if you've got a dog that you need to look after and you want to go away on holidays, well, you've now either got to find somebody to be able to look after the dog, or you've got to be able to pay someone to be able to look after it. Also, if you have a dog, your everyday is going to include walking the dog, picking up after the dog, feeding, watering, those sort of things. Now, that's a time liability. Yes, you're going to get a reward back from having an animal like that as companionship. I totally understand, and I love dogs, but personally, I know that I don't have the time to be able to put towards that, so I can't go and choose that as knowing that it's a liability for me in terms of time. So, same thing when it comes to family and friends. Be careful that you don't get trapped in relationships that are going to just drain your time and energy and money. These negative relationships can really drag you down and completely impact your life. Imagine having a family or friends that are so needy that they just need you to be there to help with everything all the time. They're constantly asking you for help, and if you're stuck saying, yes, I need to do these things, yes, I have to help them because nobody else is going to, well, that's time that you're never going to get back, and that may be time that you really need to look after you. Remember, you are the most important person in your life, not anybody else, because if you can't look after you and keep you healthy, then you sure as hell can't look after anybody else and keep them healthy. I know that because when I got really sick, I could barely look after myself. There's no way I could have been able to look after anybody else on top of that. Way too difficult. The other side of it is energy. You could be living with somebody who is an energy taker. You could have friends and family members that are energy takers. They leave you feeling worse after spending time with them rather than feeling energized, feeling better, feeling recharged, happy, excited. That's the last thing you want. You don't want to be just drained like that. And yes, that will mean you need to cut people out of your life or limit the time you spend with them. And that can be very difficult for a lot of people because we feel this responsibility, and often that leads to a guilty feeling of not being there for somebody and not playing your part in the family, or being a good friend. Now, these are all just labels that we put on ourselves, or we may have heard other people putting on us or putting on others. But is it real? At the end of the day, everybody needs to look after themselves. If you don't have the energy to be able to go and look after somebody else, it's never going to work anyway, because let's say you go and help somebody else when you're already feeling wrecked and you need to spend a day in bed, and you know that. Well, now you might come back on the other side after helping them and you need to spend 2 days in bed, and you've got a cold, and now you're sick for the next few weeks, and it's completely affected you because you chose to put somebody else's needs over your own. That is not cool. It is not fair. It doesn't work. Next, you'd look at the money side of things. If you live with somebody who is a money waster, they might be costing you money having them live with you. You might find that you have chosen somewhere to live that is way too expensive as well. That's not going to work for you in the long term. You've got to be able to still live within your means and make things work. So remember that you always have these extra responsibilities that you could have in your life, but you don't absolutely have to have in your life. They are choices. You either choose a liability, or you choose not to go towards that liability. You choose things that lift you up rather than drag you down. You choose things that are going to give you more free time rather than take away your time. At the end of the day, it's only ever your choice, and you're the one who is in charge of making these decisions. But if you can make these wise decisions, you can really choose how to live a life that is more in line with what you want to do. So remember, if you can build good habits and discipline and make wise choices about how you want to live your life and spend your time, and what you want to do and who you want to do it with, you're going to have a clear structure of how you want to spend each day. You're going to have a clear structure of what you're going to do and how you're going to use your time, your energy, and your money, which are very precious resources. So remember, do those things first. Those adulting things that you need to get done, do them first, so then you can relax and go and focus on the things that you really want to do, because that's going to give so much more value to your life and give you a lifestyle that is so much better than the procrastination trap where you're stuck, feeling like you need to do something, feeling like you're in that guilty space, avoiding things, whatever. All right? Discipline equals freedom. You want to go chase that discipline. If you need help with your discipline and setting up a lifestyle that works for you so that you're getting your adulting done and you're having more fun in your life, I have a free 28-day coaching program. You can join that on the link below, and I'll help you design, build, and live your ideal lifestyle. It is groundbreaking. I hope to see you on the inside.